The time has come. You guys have been asking for quite a while now for me to do a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tier list video. So here it is. The way I went about making this tier list is that I created a tier list purely out of my own thoughts, went through all the characters myself and ordered them, and then I checked out the top player for each character's kind of like matchup charts and what they thought of their character, because they are the experts of their character. Watched a few VODs and then slightly adjusted based on those things. So I put a lot of effort into this tier list video to make sure it's like a really accurate and well thought out tier list that is still at the end of the day based upon my opinions. By the way, just a disclaimer, I think Smash Ultimate is just such a well-balanced game. Nintendo has done an amazing job balancing so many characters. So even though I've labeled them like bottom tier, low tier, blah, 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 it's like, I think bottom tier, yeah, if you're versing a top tier character, then you kind of have no chance unless you are better than that other player. But even like when it gets to low tier, I think if you're equal skill level to someone playing a high or top tier character, you can still win like a fair amount of the matches. Smash Ultimate's really balanced. I don't think they're much worse, and I think all the tiers are kind of pretty close together. So just throwing it out there, but let's get into it. The worst character, the bottom tier, the bottom character in the bottom tier is Ganondorf. Ganondorf, he is a booty cheeks character. He just gets edge guarded super duper hard. He loses some matchups and it's like literally impossible. Like, how does Ganondorf even beat Pikachu? How can a Ganondorf player beat a Snake player unless they're way above? Like, it just doesn't happen. He's super slow. He can get camped out. He gets juggled hard. He gets comboed hard. The one thing I will say that he does have is like his neutral air. Pretty good move. It kind of carries him a lot. He's got a bit of range on him, which is handy. But other than that, honestly, this character is just poo-poo. I'm sorry. For the second worst character in the game, I put down Little Mac. Now, usually, I feel like it's a bit of a coin flip. Who do you think is the worst character in the game? Ganondorf or Little Mac? And although I don't think Little Mac is way better than Ganondorf or anything, he's still an inconsistent character. He also gets edge guarded really hard. He can't edge guard himself. And although he isn't always getting camped, he can get camped, especially if he's losing just with platforms. And then it's like, Little Mac, what? You can't do anything. You're in a bit of trouble if you're getting platform camped and you're losing. You're probably not bringing that match back. But the reasons I think Little Mac is slightly better than Ganondorf, and maybe this is bias coming in because Peanut, who is a crazy Little Mac, has been going absolutely ham recently. But Little Mac's speed, very fast. He's got some good movement on him, and that really helps out his neutral game and helps him out versus some projectile characters and getting just camped. Super Armor is just a crazy move in neutral. Like, if you think your opponent's going to attack you, you punish it by just hitting them harder in the face. And with the incredible power of the KO punch as well, just to bam, take stocks at 40%, he's just got a little bit more of a cheese factor, and he can just steal the win from you a little bit more than Ganondorf, which is why I've put him the second worst. Also, yeah, disclaimer, this entire tier list is ordered. Up next, I have put Incineroar. Honestly, this character is just so slow. If Incineroar had like Little Mac speed, he would probably be like a high tier character. Gets edge guarded really hard. Honestly, probably gets edge guarded harder than Ganondorf. His recovery is really bad. He also doesn't have the best edge guarding tools himself, but I will admit that he has some good aerials. He's got some really good kill power if he gets the down B, but you're gonna have to get all your kills based off reads. Like, if you're not reading your opponent, you're never ever catching them because did I say he's slow? He's really slow. Moving on to Lucario. Similar to Incineroar, I'd say he usually needs a read to get a kill. With his slow aerials, like, you kind of want to chuck out a smash attack or a back air to get the kill, and those are not the fastest moves in the world. He does have a pretty good recovery, far better than Incineroar's recovery, so he's not getting edge guarded really hard like the three characters that I think are worse than him. His neutral is a fair bit better, purely because of the fact he has Aura Sphere, which is a really good move. But at the end of the day, I do think the fact that he just doesn't have many like quick aerials to kind of be like, get back, stop approaching me. And a lot of characters in this game, especially the top tier characters, are just killing you at like 80-90% anyway with their incredible combos and edge guards. Lucario isn't getting aura that much in this game, so he doesn't get to be a crazy broken character most of the time, which is why I think that this is where he is on the tier list. Now I want you guys to imagine playing Mario, except you don't have his crazy combo game, you don't have very good movement speed, and your recovery is really trash. You've got Dr. Mario. This character is honestly just Mario, but just worse in every single way, other than the fact he just punches you in the face a little bit harder. But you're gonna be able to avoid that punch in the face and zone him out pretty easily because of how ridiculously slow this character is. You can also just chuck him off stage, get an easy edge guard. His advantage state, he doesn't have the combo game of Mario, and the fact that he's so slow means that if he knocks you up in the air, you can kind of just be like, okay, I'm just gonna go over here, and he's like running to chase you, and he can't because he's so bad. He's a bad character. Dr. Mario, you never play this character. It makes no sense. Now, next up is a character I honestly do not have much experience playing as or playing against, and that is Mii Gunner. This character definitely just relies on running away with all of their projectiles, which they do have a lot of and are pretty good, but once you get in, you can combo them, you can edge guard them. They're not going to edge guard you back. Just their normal moves are just pretty trash, honestly. But I will say that Capitan Cito is a Mii Gunner who won their Smash World Tour regional online qualifiers. So that is absolutely amazing. But it will be interesting to see how they do offline, because projectile characters are obviously a far better online due to the fact that there's lag and you can't react to them just hitting you in the face. So go and check them out if you want to see some good Mii Gunner gameplay, but I still think that this character is just pretty trash. Next up, we have King Dedede, and I hate this character so much, even though I just don't think they're that good, but they hit pretty hard, and they can be kind of annoying to verse. If you've ever versed a good King Dedede, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are some definite positives, such as literally living to 200%, because how do you kill this big fat penguin? Incredible ledge trapping when they get the Gordo set up. They've got their hammer shenanigans. It's actually really scary, but other than those two things, this character does not have much going for them at all. They are big fat combo food. They probably lose neutral to every single character in the game. They are really slow. You can easily just knock back the Gordos straight into their face. They're gonna have to go for some big reads if they're gonna try and get the kill, these King Dedede players, because all their moves are very slow. And yeah, once again, a lot of the characters in this low tier, don't get me wrong, they can be very, very scary. I think every single character in this game is pretty good and you can lose to them. But this is another low tier character that is going to have to rely on some big reads, and I think that means they're a pretty bad character. And finally, the character that I think is the best character in the bottom tier, who has potential to make it out into what I'm going to call low tier, and that is Kirby. Kirby can do some really crazy things, I would admit. You can see some crazy combos coming out of Kirby players. They've got really nice edge guards off stage with the multi-hit aerials. Back air is really strong to catch people going high. You just jump up there and back air them. If they go low, you've obviously got the down air, which can be absolutely devastating. Kirby probably goes pretty even with some really good characters like Fox and Falco. But the issue is advantage state is just not everything. Kirby's neutral. It's so hard to get your first hit against some good characters when you're playing Kirby. You've got little stubby arms. Every time you jump in the air, you're so slow. Kirby's got one of the worst air speeds in the game. If you get hit up in the air against a character who has a sword, I don't know how you're getting down. That is really rough. Kirby's so slow. They've got terrible fast fall speeds as well, and I think those issues just really hold Kirby back. Unless it's my blue Kirby. My blue Kirby, you can't beat it. That's top tier for sure. Now moving from bottom tier into low tier, I have put Piranha Plant. Now Piranha Plant has been seeing some hype pretty much ever since online really has started, especially with the help of Best Ness. He even beat MKLeo. This character really can hit you in the face a few times and do a lot of damage and then kill you at like 90%, probably even sooner, like 80% where some characters, with his up smash. Piranha Plant's up smash out of shield, up smash to catch people jumping is such a strong kill move, which is fantastic because it doesn't really mean you have to rely on reads anymore with this character to get your kills, like with a lot of the bottom tier characters. I will say though that this character does thrive off a bit of cheddar. It's such a weird character to verse. I feel like it can really catch a lot of people off guard if they don't know how to deal with Patooey. They could even get confused with the poison gas and then the down B and you break a shield and you just kill them at literally 0%. You are relying a lot off cheese and some big hits in neutral, and that's why I don't think they're the best character still. Next up, Mii Swordfighter. This is our first sword character on the list, and sword characters are great characters in Smash Bros, but Mii Swordfighter is the worst out of all of them. Their aerials are just not that good, not that safe. I feel like Mii Swordfighter relies in neutral a lot off their projectile game, which is like, it's okay, but it's definitely not fantastic. And when you get through their mediocre projectile game, you can do a bit of damage. Mii Swordfighter is not a character that's got a quick move to just get them out of harm's way. If you knock them out up in the air, it's going to be pretty rough for them to get down back to the ground. They don't have the best recovery in the world. They're just all around a pretty mediocre character. And being mediocre in Smash Ultimate is not enough when a lot of characters just have some absolutely nasty things that they can hit you with. Coming up, we have the Belmont. Simon and Richter Belmont are characters that have just incredible range and a great projectile game. And this really means that against some characters, like especially heavies, this character probably feels like you're playing a top tier. These characters really just rely on their neutral game. If their neutral game is way better than their opponents, they're doing great, but they don't have amazing combos. They don't have a great recovery whatsoever. So if you are losing neutral, you're really getting wrecked. So against characters where you're not winning neutral all the time, that is when you're really going to be feeling the struggles of the Belmonts and dying at 40% because you're just getting edge guarded by Pikachu real quick. This next character is honestly the complete opposite of the Belmont's game, where the Belmonts have a fantastic neutral, nothing else. Jigglypuff, she has a terrible neutral. Like, she just kind of jumps around, floats around, hoping for the best. But when she gets in, oh boy, it can be nasty. She has fantastic edge guards, can obviously just go out there and wreak havoc on so many characters. Her combo game is nasty. One side B under the platform, you are dead from Sing. We've seen that a lot of times now on this channel. Shoutouts to Deku Meister, shoutouts to Base Mage, and of course shoutouts to the big man himself, Hungrybox, who have really been showing everyone the just absolute crazy advantage state of this character. You land one down air, bam, into rest. Forward air into rest, side B into rest, landing up air into rest. Like, this character's advantage state is so good. The recovery is pretty good. You're coming back from anywhere as long as you can dodge the moves, but her neutral is just trash. Now, next up, we have a bit of a funky character. This might be the funkiest, like, weirdest character to verse in the game, and that is Bowser Jr. This character can hit you with some absurd things, some crazy combos with the side B into up air, up air, up air, up air, up air, up. Stop! How are you hitting so many up airs? Like, sometimes you verse this character and you're like, this character's really good. But then if you start catching on to like how Bowser Jr. starts their combos, like avoiding the side B, avoiding the up airs at the right percent, avoiding these little tricks like when they up B and then they air dodge past you, smack you with the hammer and you died like really early. When you start avoiding those and taking advantage of Bowser Jr.'s weaknesses, such as just getting comboed really hard, not really having the best way down once they're up in the air, you being able to shield the Mecha Koopa and just pick it straight up. If you didn't know you could do that, well, you're welcome. These kind of things are really going to help you out. Bowser Jr., alright edge guarding, but not the best. And in return, you can really edge guard Bowser Jr. super duper hard. Like, their recovery, you can just smack them, punch them in the face out of their side B, or just hit them with a little move after they've upbeat, and sometimes they just slowly fall to their death no matter what percent they're at. If you start taking advantage of these things, you'll start to see the weaknesses of this character. Now, next up we have Ice Climbers, and honestly I would say that you're kind of able to compare this character to Jigglypuff in the fact that they have a really bad neutral and really amazing advantage state, but I would say that Ice Climbers' neutral game is a little bit better than Jigglypuff's due to the fact that they can really get in there and get their combo started off grab. And if you can do stuff off a grab, that means your neutral's way better because you want to try and run in and shield and get a grab, which is a great move to use in neutral. They have like a bit quicker attacks with their back airs coming out and their projectiles coming out, which helps them a bit in neutral as well. And that's why I think they're a little bit better than Jigglypuff. But at the end of the day, I think their neutral is still pretty shocking. Anytime you smack them apart, the character that's being just controlled by the AI, as you probably noticed by now, would just literally just slowly walk, trying to get back to the main one, and you can just charge up a smash attack, kill them really easily, edge guard them off the side. It's not the hardest thing in the world to try and split these two characters up, so your opponent is only left with one, and then that becomes the worst character in the game, far worse than Ganondorf. But if you get them down, players like Big D, a player called Spamage from Australia, they have some crazy combos. Like, look at this. Oh, you got hit at 0, just die. It's over. GG. Like, what? This character should be freaking top tier. They're crazy. But the weaknesses I spoke about before is why I still think they are low tier. Next up is Duck Hunt. This is a character that for some reason, even in Smash for Wii U, the last game, has always been far more prominent in Japan than in like America, in Australia as well. And this is a character that has got a little bit of sauce. This character's neutral game is fairly good and very tricky to deal with if you don't know what you're doing. The can is just a move that just takes control of the neutral game, just takes control of a whole area, and then as you're trying to work your way around it, jump over it, the Duck Hunt players are just gonna get their combo started with jumping up and hitting you with an up air, and then comboing it into itself, hitting you with a back air when you're at high percent for the kill. Some characters are just far better at dealing with the can and Duck Hunt's neutral game than others, and if you are able to deal with Duck Hunt's neutral game, then you can kind of expose Duck Hunt's weakness. When you get Duck Hunt off stage, it's just easy pickings. This character has a trash recovery. They can get the can out, which helps them out a bit to kind of cover their tracks, but throwing out a projectile that blows you up as well, being your saving grace, isn't the best saving grace ever. Next up, we have Banjo, which it kind of is just DLC Duck Hunt, and so it's just like a slightly better upgrade. Just replace Duck Hunt's can with grenades, replace Duck Hunt's gunmen with the old pellets. Now, I know that's not completely true, but these characters are very similar, except I think Banjo's a little bit better, because Banjo has kill confirmed off a grab at like a bit higher percent. Like at 120, you could get down throw into forward air. You can get down throw into up tilt, and this lets you kill your opponent a bit before the Duck Hunts are trying to kill their opponent. You also have the surprise factor of just chucking out a side B and getting the kill, or using the side B in those matchups where you get edge guarded really roughly. You can use that as kind of a free way to just get back to the stage. Be like, okay, I'm back this time. That's one of my 5. This is another character that has a solid neutral game, but other than the neutral game, it kind of just all falls apart a little bit. Next up, we have one of my favorite characters in Smash Bros. Ultimate to play, and that is Donkey Kong. Now, don't get it twisted. Donkey Kong has a top tier advantage state, and you might be thinking that Donkey Kong should be higher on the tier list, and that is because either you play Donkey Kong and you're versing people that you're better than, and you're just going to town on them. So clearly your character is also really good. Or you versed a Donkey Kong player and they've hit you with a dash tag, got a few back airs off stage, and then hey presto, you're dead. This character can also just guaranteed kill you off a grab using the platforms to up throw and then up air the ding dong off the top. Speaking of the up air, it is a nasty juggling tool. If Donkey Kong gets you in the air and you're not the best at getting down, it's going to be very rough for you, my friend. That up air is just a beautiful juggling option. And then finally, Donkey Kong's punch, which can just bam, kill you at 50 for no reason. I agree. Those things are absolutely amazing. But everything else is kind of rough. But just picture Donkey Kong versing any character that actually is a really good character in this game. He is getting bodied. Donkey Kong versus Pikachu. You've got no chance. Donkey Kong vs. Palutena. Donkey Kong vs. Peach. Donkey Kong vs. Zero Suit. Donkey Kong vs. Steve. Like, all of these matchups, Donkey Kong gets bodied so hard as soon as he starts getting hit. It just doesn't stop. Including off stage, he's very susceptible to edge guards. As a Lucina player, I know this. I can easily just swing, catch the up B, or if I want, I can just counter his up B. But I will say, if the Donkey Kong player is better than their opponent, Donkey Kong just decimates them because you're not losing that neutral, you're not going into disadvantage, or you're not getting cooked in disadvantage as much, so you're getting to use his top tier advantage state. Next up, we have Bayonetta, the character who has definitely had a incredible fall from grace since the last game, Smash for Wii U, where she was by far the best character in the game, and now she's wound up and found herself in low tier in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like, first of all, how does this character, like, hit you in neutral? If you use a lot of shield, Bayonetta really cannot get her combo started. But that being said, this is still Smash Bros. Ultimate, and every single character is pretty good and can contest the best. So Bayonetta's advantage state is still very impressive. Her combos are just absolutely amazing and beautiful to watch. She can get some nasty edge guards going off stage with like up B, like literally just gimping people with her up B. Her forward airs off the side can still just randomly kill characters really early if she catches you. This character still has some amazing edge guards, amazing combos, but her neutral game isn't that good. And in Smash Bros. Ultimate, that is enough to hold you back. But I do love watching some top Bayonetta play, and I wish there were more top Bayonetta players for me to check out. Next up, we have Lucas, aka the Earthbound brother that is just like kind of not doing as well in school as the brother that's at university, just absolutely killing it, becoming a chemical engineer. But that being said, Lucas, still quite a good character. Now, the pros of Lucas: recovery, actually quite good. The up B goes so far. In comparison to Ness's, it goes a lot further. Also, the tether recovery as well as that up B recovery. So you've got a few options there with Lucas. The character's got a bit of a neutral on its hand as well. A bit of a projectile game, bit of a zoning game, which makes the character's neutral pretty up there. But other characters like Duck Hunt and stuff who I've covered also have that good neutral game. The reason why I think he's a bit better is on top of this, he's also got a nasty combo game. You've seen it before probably with like the Lucases, and they use the snake and they're doing some combos. They're taking someone across the stage. Down air apparently is the most amazing move ever. Like, Lucas can get some amazing things off this down air, which I'll show you in this video, because while I was researching these characters, I was like, what? When could Lucas's down air do all this stuff, like comboing into forward smash, just dragging people off the stage for the spike? Those are the things, like the better advantage state is why I think I've put Lucas above any character on the list so far. But he is not higher on the list, so the weaknesses I would say would be things like not having the best out of shield game. If a character can deal with the zoning that Lucas has, it is pretty rough. If you knock Lucas into the air, it's kind of rough for him to get back down because of how floaty he is. Knock him off stage and you're a character that's good at edge guarding, you're still going to have a field day, even though his recovery goes very far. Once he's hit himself, now some people don't know this, with Ness and Lucas, once they've hit themselves with the up B, if you just throw out an attack with the right timing, it'll beat that out. Like, it'll knock that out of the way. You could Bowser forward air Lucas after he's hit himself with his up B, and it's gonna beat it out. Even though it looks scary, like he's powered up with thunder, the power of Zeus, you can just smack him in the face. And so his disadvantage, as well as his neutral not being that amazing, his advantage state not being that amazing, he is pretty well rounded though, but nothing's that amazing that makes me think he is a high tier character. Next up, we have Isabelle, and speaking of getting outshined by your sibling, Isabelle, I would say not quite as good as Villager, and those reasons being that the changes in the moves that Isabelle has compared to Villager are just really makes her neutral game a lot worse. Like, Villager can throw out the slingshots and has that Lloyd Rocket as another option to just pressure and force your opponent into options in neutral. Isabelle just got the fishing rod, which, although is good for getting kills, like if you combo the mine, jump up and get a fishing rod, you can chuck people off the top and get an early kill. It's kind of not that great for neutral. So I think Isabelle's neutral game isn't as impressive as like Villager's. It's still like alright though. Her recovery is also a bit of an alright though character. Like, her recovery is alright, it can go very far, but it doesn't have like a hitbox. Her advantage state is alright. She can smack you in the face, take you across stage. Her forward smash is absolutely brutal, just party poppering you straight in the face. You die so early to that. Even some cheeky things with like the jab. If you've ever been stuck on like a platformer at the very edge of the stage versus someone who knows how to do this, they could just keep bonking you on the head. She does have some cool things, but once again, similar to Lucas, they're kind of just alright. They're pretty good, in fact, just in every way and not amazing in any way. Now we're back to a character that isn't quite as well-rounded, and that is King K. Rool. Now, King K. Rool, he is one of those characters like Little Mac, like Jigglypuff. They're kind of lacking in one area, but they make up for it with a whole lot of cheese. And this is the cheese master right here, is King K. Rool. Super armor, very, very difficult to deal with. Especially with the side B. Did they really need to do that with the side B? You can land a full on, like, you've got the great read, you chuck out an aerial, just side B's all the way through it. You hit a smash attack, side B's all the way through it. The neutral air is very, very helpful for King K. Rool getting back down to the ground. You can get some cool combos, like comboing the side B, the crown, into back air spike. King K. Rool can do that thing where they're on the platform and then your opponent, once again, they're trying to pressure you. You're a heavy. Let's try and jump up with a short hop aerial. Nah, big belly flop. Bam, you're dead at 80%. Oh, that's my mum. I'm so sorry. So yeah, even though he is a heavy, he doesn't really have such a big weakness as a heavy compared to the other ones. He can get down from the ground a little bit easier. He can recover a little bit easier. And he hits just as hard with a bit more cheese. Next up, we have Robin, which I have to say is probably the most full package character we've looked at so far. This is why I think Robin is better than the characters so far. She's got the full package. She's got a bit of range on her hand. She's also got projectiles, so she can even camp some characters out. She does big damage with her hits. She has combos, like hitting the side B into some up airs. That's high damage combos right there. She can go out there for the edge guards, including getting spikes with her up B. She's pretty much the full package, other than she's very, very slow, and her recovery is far from the best. It does leave her very vulnerable, and she can just run out of her recovery moves. Like, oh, let me just upbeat. No, sorry, you're not allowed to do that this time. Oh, cool. I'll just die. That was me being Robin, by the way. But those two things actually make a significant difference. It means if a character is fast enough, they're going to be able to maneuver around her projectile game and then hit her off stage and then edge guard her. So that is what's holding Robin back. Other than that, she's a very good, well-rounded character with all the other things I said before. Next up, I've chucked in Meta Knight. Meta Knight is actually a character people thought was like top tier when the game first came out, and that is because he has a fantastic edge guarding game, which is very important in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Characters can't just air dodge your move and then recover that easily in this game. So Meta Knight can really go out there, take advantage of a lot of bad recoveries. Also has a very good combo game where he can up air juggle you, kill you off the top, kill you off the side, or just knock you off the side, and then that great edge guarding game comes in once again. But the catch is, Meta Knight kind of has to hit the dash attack at the right percent, or get the throw at the right percent to get into those amazing combos. If you can't get your combo started, if people are just avoiding it really well, and you don't happen to get that hit at the right percent, then I feel like Meta Knight really is just having to win neutral over and over again. But that being said, yeah, this character very good at the edge guards, the combos if you get the right percent, and the disadvantage is pretty specky on this character. Specky means good, by the way, as well. Like, he can go very low if he wants to, use his up B. He can go high and then do a bit of a mix-up where he just down Bs, teleports, bam, straight to stage. Or he's stuck on a ledge, jump up, down B, bam, teleport behind you. I don't want to deal with this ledge trap anymore. Like, he's got quite the good disadvantage. This character does have some very good stuff, but he is just limited in his options, and people have gotten far better at avoiding it. That's why you don't see many people playing Meta Knight anymore. People don't think he's top tier at all anymore, and that is why I still think Meta Knight actually is a low tier, because of how limited he is. Next up is Toon Link. This character is once again a pretty well-rounded character, just has a great projectile game, a character that really just takes control of the neutral, chips away at you, and then kind of when you get to 120, one bomb can combo into a forward air off the side or into an up air for the kill. This character definitely has a game plan and likes to stick to it. Isn't really cheesing you unless they get some crazy down air shenanigans, or they could catch you pretty early on off the side with up B. But even so, early on for Toon Link, it's still kind of going to be like 70%. It's like, whoa, a crazy early up B kill off the side. This character isn't that cheesy, doesn't have amazing things, is kind of just a projectile character that is just like Young Link, but worse, just like slower. Not as many setups into kill confirms. There are some great Toon Link players, like Marvelous Marco is one that I've been checking out. He's a great player, but I don't know why you would ever play Toon Link instead of Young Link. I'm sorry. And finally, the character that I think is the best in bottom tier, and like bottom tier, like it's probably like just like very low high tier. So many characters are good in this game. But that is Zelda. And I know, this character, you verse him online, you're like, pop it. No, she is definitely at least high tier. I always lose. And don't worry, I do as well. I hate it. But that is online. And this is an offline tier list. You are going to be able to react more to her crazy shenanigans offline than online. Zelda is a character that once you stop getting hit by just things you're not ready for, such as like crazy phantom setups into forward air where they're going to break your shield. If you're aware that this stuff can happen, it is quite difficult for the Zelda to get some wins in neutral. She is a character that like sets up her projectile game and relies a lot on like setting up tricks and setting up traps that if you fall for one, she's going to punish you very hard for it. But it's not the best game plan to rely on, and it's not a game plan I think a top tier character has. But other than that, she doesn't have like glaring weaknesses why I think she is the best bottom tier character. Her recovery, very good. A teleport recovery where if you want to, you can even just mix it up and like go a bit above the ledge, so the hitbox is still very active. She can teleport to center stage. She can actually use her teleport to get kills as well, if you didn't know. Very strong smash attacks, like her forward smash catching you near the ledge at like 60% can just be the end of you. She is one of the only low tier characters that is just not getting camped. She is probably going to be the one camping you. So I'm sorry, you're not cheesing this character out by sitting back on the other side of the stage and throwing stuff. She can reflect that stuff straight back at you. She can also use that neutral B reflector I've seen to catch landings. Like if opponent is trying to land, they have to aerial or air dodge or just land. If you're under that with a neutral B, it beats all of those options. Ven was doing it to MKLeo in their set. I saw a lot. That move, although it could be seen as like a noob attack where you're just spamming it, if used correctly, it's actually just legitimately very good. She can go out there for edge guards as well, including edge guarding with her neutral B or with her down air spike, which is vicious. She has more kill moves, in fact, as well, with her forward air and back air. Up air as well is killing off the top. This character is very, very scary, but she doesn't have that high tier game plan and consistent gameplay, if you know what I mean. And that concludes it for my bottom tier and low tier characters. The next few parts of this tier list video are going to be coming out over the next few days, so make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, so you are notified as soon as they come out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.